Move my coffee. Ugh. Good morning. Hey, Brad. We're not cooking. We are talking about food safety today. Oy. Hey, Mikado? Mikado. How do you say that name? Good morning. Joanne, hi. Pam, hi. We're doing food handling today. Actually, our kitchen pharmacy is all about food handling because, we have a lot of people out there that are really into that, making sure everything is correct. So I thought it would be a really fun thing to do, really informative and good to do. So that's what we're up to today. Let me see. So we're going to wait till everybody gets on here this afternoon. Hey, Gina, how are you? We've been having fun all week cooking, and I get to sit in a chair today. I'm so excited. So much easier. Hi, Darlene. Welcome. Let me, hey, Pamsy, hi. We're doing food handling today. Food safety, which people kind of like. I know that around here. Everybody's into that on this platform. How we washing our hands. It's so much deeper than that. So we're gonna talk about that today. Hold on. Oh, good. Everything's off. Okay. How's everybody? It's kind of a fun day. We are going to be doing all about food safety. Kind of excited to chat about it. Hi. I'm just getting everybody shared because, we got to share. Hey, thank you for my heart. Here we go. This is a pretty hot topic. I think everybody's going to enjoy it. So I figure, why not jump in with 2 feet and really show you guys. All right, hold on. I think I'm almost done sharing. I think I got everybody. Sorry if I share like a million times too. Don't mean to do that. Hey, Kimye. Oh my God. Okay, prepared to be grossed out today. I figured I was going to do it in the kitchen, and then I was like, no, because if I come in the kitchen, I'm going to cook. And we're cooking this afternoon at 4 o'clock with HK. So I figure, let's do that. Wow. I don't know what happened to our algorithm here, but it's very sad. 9 months. Hi. Good morning, Jesse. I'm drinking my coffee. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Prepared to be grossed out. You asked for it. Here we go. Where did that go? Okay, here. Hi, Cheryl. Good morning. You got it. Got your present. I'm so curious how you like. Lachelle, good morning. All right, we're talking about, thank you for my love. Yay. Hi, Dale. Don't forget, anybody that did their meal plan, make sure that you fill out those notes, the little card. I think you get it once you book the time. So as soon as you book the time that works for you, then you're gonna, I'm curious what you think about it when you're done, going through it. It's big. It's 240 pages, so thank you. All right, so you guys ready? Prepared to be grossed out? We'll start slow and build up. So I know that I know for a lot of people that come in here, they talk a lot about wash your hands, put your hair up, do this, do that. But I think food safety and food handling goes even further than that. And, you could wear all the gloves in the world, but if you're using your gloves improperly, then it doesn't matter whether you have your gloves on or not. You're still going to get people sick. So a lot of this is, a lot of what I'm talking, and I kind of pared this down because some of it gets very technical, but I kind of pared it down for you guys so that the stuff that pertains to home cooking is really what's important. I have notes too, so I don't miss anything. So the most important takeaways from our Serve Safe classes are, there's like 5 different ones. The first one is obviously foodborne illness and how common they are. And a lot of it comes from obviously producing, cooking, packing, doing all the food, cooking all that food. So that's very, very important. And the number one thing when you're cooking professionally is that you have to protect your customers and your reputation, right? So that's a very big part of food safety. But, you can turn that around and say food safety in your home, if you're having a dinner party, even for your kids. You really want to be very careful. Now, do you need gloves in your home? I use gloves just because I use them all the time at work. So when I'm home and I'm handling raw meat, I like to use gloves because it's gross. I don't like to touch raw meats and then have to cook with salads and stuff. So that's it. And now also, one of the things that we do in commercial kitchens is you have to have sanitizer buckets. Now, there's a very big controversy in the organic food industry versus what Serve Safe and what the FDA and CDC and everybody recommends for sanitizing, and that is using bleach. So the method that we teach is, and what we talk about is a tablespoon of bleach to 1 gallon of water. If you smell your bleach in your water, you are using too much bleach. So keep that in mind. You never should be smelling bleach. If you like to clean with bleach, which, in my world, in my bubble, it's a horrendous thing to be using. But if you're using bleach, you should not smell it. So keep that in mind. Whether you're washing your bathroom or, because I know some people are freaks about bleach and they like to use it. That's fine if you're going to use it. I don't necessarily agree with that, but whatever. If you're using it, you shouldn't smell it. So keep that in mind. It's one, and I'm going to put these in my notes actually for sanitizing. It's 1 tablespoon and you will not smell it. And you'll be like, oh my God, it's not working. That's not true. It's working fine. There are test strips that you can get also. And if you have too much bleach, there's an issue. And never mix bleach with ammonia. It causes a gas that will kill you. So never do that. I know, Cheryl, isn't that amazing? Everybody takes bleach home and they pour a ton of bleach in the water and all you smell is bleach and your hands smell like bleach. That should never happen. So good. I'm glad something that you guys learn. It's important to know because you don't need that much to be sanitizing. So core principles of food safety. Good personal hygiene. Now, what that means is your hands are washed with soap and water. You should have a nail brush. If you have nails, like if you have long press-on nails or you go to a shop and you have long nails, they are not recommended in a commercial kitchen because why? Hey, stay happy. How are you? Because if you do that, and they pop off and land in the food, that's disgusting. Also, your nails should be pretty trimmed. Like if you see, my nails are not very long at all because you don't want to get caca underneath your nails, right? I'm doing good. Had my birthday yesterday. We had a big birthday celebration online in our Q&A yesterday. We posted all new classes, cooking classes, so they're in there. So we had a lot of fun. We had tons of fun. All right, hold on. I actually forgot to go live on the other platform. So hold, please. So food, personal hygiene. Hair should be tied back. Now, in hospital settings, nursing home settings, institutional settings, people are recommended with hair nets and beard nets. On the local level of restaurants and stuff, that is not necessarily the case. It is not something that, like, even I was telling everybody yesterday, I had a 2 hour what do you call it, a review. My board of health guy showed up and I had an inspection. Well, actually it was 3 hours, a 3 hour inspection. He went through everything, and we never once talked about our hair having to be under a hat or in a net or a beard net. Now, is it good to do that? Of course it is. My hair is always tied up. My girl's hair is always tied up. We really do not have our hair down. Beards seem to be the thing these days. I don't really say anything as long as the guys have them very well trimmed. And I will say, I'm knocking on wood, but I have been in this business for a long, long time, and I have maybe had hair in food twice ever, I think. And I don't even know if it was mine. I don't know. It's not something that happens in my kitchen. We have a very good thing. Also, one of the other rules of thumb, and this is not always the case, but it is the case in my kitchen. If you are sick, if you are coughing, if you are feeling under the weather, don't come to work. I don't want you there. Coughing creates food, you just don't want that. So we don't do that. Good morning, beautiful Copper. Did you get my email? I sent you and Cheryl an email. A gift of sorts. All right, now, let's see what else. I'm looking at all things. Hi, good morning, Tyler. I forgot to go live on the other platform. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to turn it on now. I think, if I can figure it out. I don't know if I can figure it out, but I'm going to certainly try. We're going to do some other stuff too today. We're going to talk about barbecue stuff. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. I have to see if I can pull up. Let me see if it will work. Come on, baby. See, I think I have to close it all and then go back. Hey, Gardner. Hold on, guys. I just have to. Okay, I can. I can do it. Alrighty then. Yep, I can do it. All right. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. So we did nails. Scrubbing, you're in the bathroom, those little placards that you see when you go to a restaurant, employees must wash their hands. That's a real thing. And, for reputable establishments that are here doing the right thing, it is extremely important to do that. Very important and expected. So I can rest assured, if you're going to a decent restaurant or you're in a decent place, you are doing the right thing. You're going to good restaurants. You're pretty safe. I mean, for the most part, restaurants do the right thing. They're not doing shady stuff. Hi, Joanna. Good morning. We're talking about food safety today. Lisa, I just can't understand. I try so hard with TAC, and it's just a big F. I can't figure it out. I don't know why. I I try so hard too. Hold on, let me see if I can find. I'm so mad. All right, let's see if this works. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna have to start it on on a different one. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to do it. You know what? Forget it. I'm not doing it today. I don't want to take away from what we're doing here. I'm so bad. All right. Oh, we have a little thing. I'm cranky with TT for never sending me your notifications. I set my own alerts. I know. Erica, I'm telling you, I mean, we used to have 700, 500, 600 people in a room. Now we get 70, 80. I don't understand. And I send it out. We're doing all the right things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so good personal hygiene. Clean uniforms, protective gear, like gloves. So the glove thing, you're not allowed to use latex in a kitchen because people have latex allergies. You have to use vinyl. And this is what I say about gloves. Hi, Kimberly. You need to make Chef a step-by-step cheat sheet for going live on each platform. Tyler's already doing so much. I don't know if he can possibly handle it. I wish he could get you know what? I have that log me in, Tyler. I should put you in the log me in for my computer so you can get on and set it all up. It's so stupid. No, I get mad at myself and then I go, that's it. I'm going to do it right now. See, we went from 56, we had 80, now it's 56. I get flustered so easy. So let's talk about gloves for a second. Gloves are single use. What that means is when you put gloves on, you handle what's in front of you and you take the gloves off. Because think about it this way. If you ever go to a store and you watch people make a sandwich and then they go handle money, you're cooked. Money is in a register, has the most germs on it. Think about money and how that passes through every person and everywhere you go. People are sneezing, they stuff it in a handbag, it's on a counter, it's in a wallet, they put it in their pockets, they take it out, they wipe their nose, they go to the bathroom, they touch it. I mean, it is a huge pet peeve of mine, Erica. It's so gross. And that I will tell you is the owners of establishments. They don't want to spend the money on gloves. I mean, gloves are expensive, like everything else, and people don't realize, but they are single use. What that means is my crew is so sick of hearing me because, we have a deli case. They open the deli case. Put your gloves on after you open the deli case. Because once you open the deli case with your glove on your hand, you're done. They are contaminated. It's just like opening, you might as well not use a glove. Then when you handle the food and you scoop it or you make your sandwich, you're done. You take them off. You wrap your sandwich, you're finished. Now the next person. So gloves are I say something. Yeah. It's important to say something. Sometimes now we have the super kooks in our shop that are like, I want you to put your gloves on, open the deli case, take them off, change them. Those people, I'm like, okay, you can't eat here because we're not doing all of that. That's over the top. We do it the right way and we're careful, but that becomes super cuckoo. But yes, it is. If people are making sandwiches and handling money and their gloves, like if your gloves start to sweat on your hands, they have been on way too long. If they look dirty, they are dirty. If they handle money, I say something. You have to. I wish they taught servers about touching money. That is not in the server safe class because and it is up to the person that is so I'm not sure if this is federal law. I think it's federal law or recommended by the CDC or the FDA. I'm not sure how it goes. In the state of Connecticut, every shift there must be a Serve Safe certified person on site at all times in working in the kitchen. So if that's happening, they should know that, right? So if there is an establishment and you can ask to see, you have a right to ask. I mean, we have all of our certifications and licenses on a wall that people can look at. The inspections are wild. All inspections are public knowledge. I know for New York and for state of Connecticut. I don't know all over the country. I think that might be a statewide or maybe it's a local thing. I'm not sure. But I know that in Connecticut and New York, they are public information. And I think New York State, you have to publish it. I'm not sure. Or post it. So that's important. TikTok, I'm just drinking coffee. Maybe that's why we keep getting throttled. Let me not drink for a little bit and see what happens. So hey Cass, so we're talking about food safety and food handling today. So that's really important. Yeah, there was a birthday sale last night that we did. Oh, and it's still active till tonight. Oh, it is? So it's like $19.64 for a cooking class and $61 for your food, for the food meal plan. So if you want to do that. So, rodents are a thing. I mean, in New York City, rodents are a big problem, right? They have rats. I mean, rats are the size of little cats or little kittens. It's bad. And they run through the basements and everywhere. And it's pretty bad. So you have to be careful. Roaches, I have to tell you, I mean, we don't have rodents at all, ever. If I see, sometimes we get ants and we handle that right away. Awesome, Cass. Another reason to cook at home. Yes. But, it's a problem. In the wintertime, mice run inside. If they run inside to your home, they run inside to stores. So you have to be extremely diligent. Like we have somebody that comes weekly to watch for everything. So we never thank you. We never have an issue. And especially in health food stores, think about this, bulk bins. Those are like, they are a beacon for little critters because, that's dinner. That's a snack. So you have to be extremely diligent. There's a lot of care behind the scenes to own or operate a grocery store and a food establishment. It's not a joke, and for the most part, people don't make it a joke. We take it super seriously. I'm highly offended when somebody makes a comment about spitting in food. I'm highly offended and usually ask them not to shop or not to come to my deli because I'm not having that, We work so hard and care so much about what we do. Yes, you can't keep cardboard in a kitchen, ever. Because cardboard I'll tell you, Erica, I'm the most fearful of flies. I think flies carry the most, and I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Flies carry the most disease because they land on your food, they eat it and puke it back up. That's the one that skeeves me the most. Roaches, they totally skeeve me, but flies, totally, I cannot stand flies. I have fly swatters everywhere, and my Nellie catches them in her hand. She scrubs her hands. We call her Mr. Miyagi. We call her Mrs. Miyagi because she catches them all the time. I mean, you can't help it. It's going to happen. So you have to be diligent, watch, it's just part of the process. So you really try hard to do that. So you have to prevent cross-contamination, right? Separate cutting boards and utensils for raw meats versus ready-to-eat foods like fruits and breads, vegetables. The boards are color-coded. It is optional to use color-coded boards. That flies around our area. We can get rid of them. I mean, it's it's not easy. You know, you can have those fly strips in. You got to make sure you have screened in doors. You know, like the kitchen doors of restaurants are usually screened in so you can get air. It's important to do that. Cheryl, you became the new title gifter of the roses. Thank you. Thought on glass cutting boards. Well, we wouldn't use them in a kitchen. I'm not a fan of glass because if they break, you're screwed, right? You know, think about this. For ice bins, you know, you cannot, you know, some places you'll see new people, they'll take an actual glass and drag it through an ice machine or an ice bay. Obviously, for so many obvious reasons, that is a big fat no-no, because if the glass cracks, that has to be emptied, and during service, you're screwed because you're never going to fill it up in time. So I would say, Kimberly, no to glass cutting boards. I am a fan of bamboo. They're the least to me overall. Yeah, no in bartending, yeah. But you'd be surprised how many people don't think about that and do it. It's it's an issue. So I mean, that's a safety issue more than a what do you call it issue. But yes, it's a problem. Thank you for my heart. So also you're storing meats. Now here's something, and you know, you got to check your refrigerator. Like if you buy meats and you're going to cook them the next day, or you're leaving raw meat in your refrigerator. Now, it's very hard in a regular refrigerator to do this, but I want you to think about it for yourself when you are unloading, you know, your groceries for the week. You want to store raw meat in the lowest part of a refrigerator, and then it's by cooking temps. So cooking temperatures, and I'm going to give you, you're going to get a chart from me. I'm going to give you a bunch of charts so that you have them. Foodborne illnesses and cooking charts. I'm going to pull it up. I know it by heart, but when I'm talking fast, I want to look at it. So you might see it in my classes. But beef, the internal temperature is supposed to be 160, but nobody cooks beef to 160. Rare meat is 135. But for storing of meats and getting the temperature up, to know that there's going to be no bacteria in meat. Now, if you go to a restaurant and it says, now most restaurants, and I'm not sure if this is federal or state. I know it's either state, it's not local, it's state or federal. I don't remember which. But you have to have in your menu on a state level, Connecticut, New York for sure, because that's where I am, so I know that. It says serving raw meat, blah, 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 blah. There's a warning sign on menus now. So that's 135. Now, I was asking my guy yesterday, my inspector, because we roast our roast beef. I said, listen, I roast my roast beef and I grill my steak because it's thin to 133. Resting temp will get that to 135, which is rare. I want to serve my steaks rare because people are reheating deli food. So you don't want to, I call it, you don't want to unalive it. You don't want to cook it well done. And then you have, you know, this crappy piece of meat. So, but to kill bacteria in beef, veal, pork, and lamb, it's 160. Poultry, turkey, chicken, I would imagine you're going to talk about duck, pheasant, goose, all of those things. They're all 165. You're roasting a turkey to 165, not 180, and we'll talk about that at Thanksgiving time. But you need that information. But if you want rare meat, rare beef, you can cook it to 135, but know that you're eating it and it's on your table no longer than 2 hours. And then it's either you have to reheat to 165 or you got to toss it. Did you guys get that? So fresh ham is 160 pre-cooked. Any pre-cooked meats, you know how you can buy like a chicken sausage or something like that, or a cooked sausage or pre-cooked hams. You're talking 140 degrees. Seafood, 145. 145. Leftover casseroles. Listen to this, right? A casserole. You make a big casserole dish. In order to eat that, Safety standard says, thank you. Thank you, Team Jesus. Nice to see you. I always love when you come and drop us a love message like that. Thank you. God bless you too. Leftover casseroles are $1.65. Especially if they have egg or cheeses or meats. Those are really important. Okay. Good information, right? All right. So those are really important numbers to know. So when you're storing food and raw meats in your refrigerator, the very bottom thing, you're storing your meats based on the cooking temperature. So the higher the cooking temperature, the lower the raw meat needs to be stored. So that would mean your beef is first, then comes your poultry, right? Did I say that right? Yeah, 165. Then comes your poultry. Then comes your ham. Also eggs. We'll talk about eggs in a minute. And then comes your fish. And why that is, so listen to what I'm saying here. If you're serving, surf and turf for dinner at your family and you bought lobster tails and shrimp, and then you bought like a piece of filet mignon and you're storing it in your fridge to cook, that fillet has to be below your fish, because what happens is thank you for all that, Tyler. Thank you for all the gifts. I really appreciate it. Good morning, April. If your fish drips, it's got to drip on the meat, because the meat has to get cooked to 150. That will get rid of all bacteria. If you switch that around and your steak, your beef drips, fish is 145. And you're going to get this. If you're part of our space, you're going to get a whole kitchen pharmacy, food safety paper. I bought 2 ribeyes at $25 each from Whole Foods, wrapped in brown paper, and opened them 2 days later. That's okay. Were they okay or were they bad? If they were bad, bring them back. Because what they are doing, Copper, they're receiving that meat. Brown spots, I didn't want to eat it. Okay, so that means that steak was older than 5 days. So what you have to do when you go to a place like that, now an actual butcher that serves meat like that, they're bringing in primals. I don't know if they're cryovac, but for like a Whole Foods, for my store, we're bringing meats in now cryovac. That's the way we get them. Not sure how a butcher gets them. If he gets them, I don't know the answer. I would have to go to a good butcher and kind of ask that question. But I'm going to assume they're coming in cryovac, not frozen. Cryovac means, so aged meat is a little different. It could be 120 days and they age it in a certain temperature. But once that cryovac opens, depending on how long they've stored it, you could have 10 to 15 days on that meat. So if brown spots happen 2 days later, you're at the end of how long they've had that meat out. So when you go, so watch this. So, even in a bakery, they do the same thing. So you get a tray, right? And the tray of meat goes into the case so that you're looking at it. So now you're looking at the steaks. And you see steaks at the very front of the case, and then they go back and back and back. Those steaks closest to the person serving them to you, those are the oldest. Now you have two thoughts. And I don't like, I asked him how long would they last in the fridge before cooking, and he said up to 3 to 4 days. I don't know, a brown spot to me means that it's oxidizing. Is it going to be bad? No, it's not going to be bad, but it might not taste as good. And he's incorrect for you, because at 3 or 4 days, there should be no brown spots on the meat. You have every right to bring that back and get it returned. I don't like, which way is the oldest again, please? So Snickers, usually when you're looking at a deli case, when you're looking at a bakery case, when you're looking at a meat case, the stuff closest to the window to you as you're looking into the case is usually the freshest. The stuff further back, like steaks that are layered back, fish that's layered back, they're going to take the oldest first, right? They're going to serve that to you first. So that's how you're going to get it. So you could always say, hey, could I have that steak right up front? The other thing you get, first in, first out. Very good, April. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But that is how it works. I love that there's a lot of food people on here. So you guys know I'm just doing all of my Serve Safe. We're also going to talk about eggs. Yeah. I would point to one in front and ask for that. Yeah, Cheryl, you could also ask, hey, do you have any, like, you know, fresh primal that you could slice from? Do you have a fresh primal that you could slice from that maybe just came in, newly opened, not in the case yet? You know, you could ask. That annoys the shit out of me, only because I know I'm putting fresh food out and I'm not actually doing that. Like for me, our fish comes in every Tuesday and Thursday. Fish comes in for us. And most grocery stores are getting previously frozen, and if they're getting fresh fish, they're holding it 5 days. At that point, you're screwed, because fish, you're really, I mean, at the 5th day mark, it's not going to be good. They don't usually appreciate it, and it's how we ask is obviously how it's going to be. You know, people come up to my case and they're like, when was that made? Is that fresh? I freaking hate that. Especially people that I see 100 times, you know, they're in every night or every week. They know that our food never stays in the case more than 36 hours, you know, and then it's out. We don't serve it any longer. Done. So that's why we're called a small batch. We make small batches of food so that we can turn it very quickly. So we'll make a salad, coleslaw every day rather than make coleslaw and then serve it for 3 days. I hear fish should be displayed on ice. Is that correct? It is correct. Fish should be on ice for sure. If you go into a place and fish is not on ice, don't buy it. Don't buy it. And so for me, fish comes in 2 days a week. We serve it for 2 days or 3 days max. And then I cook it and we sell it with the expectation that they're eating it that day. And we tell people, if you're buying fish from us that's cooked, you want to eat it today, right? So I'm very transparent in the way that we make our food. Okay, so eggs. Let's talk about eggs for a second. If you are buying eggs, if you are getting eggs from your outdoor, you know, from your your coop outside, you don't have to store the eggs. I know, right? Snickers, this is so good. I never thought to do this, but I think it's good knowledge. Use older meats for the pre-season packaging. Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, and we do it too. When meat is going to expire. Now, you know, when you buy Cryovac steaks, just so you know, when you buy a Cryovac steak, you know, like single serve steaks, single serve, you know, a package of chicken, and it says served by, yes, hang on right now. Just keep reminding me. Let me write it down, the eggs. We're going to go back to eggs, but I want to touch on this point. Believe me, I cover everything. I go round and round, but I think I answer most questions. Yes, we don't have the eyes. We have pieces of fish. Fish is another thing, but hang on to that. How do you know fresh fish? Hold on one second. And fresh fish should never, ever smell like fish. If you're getting a fresh piece of fish, it never smells. Okay, so hold on. Cryovac steak, chicken, whole chickens. If you buy those chickens and you forget to use it, you have 1 day past expiration to use that meat. I would not freeze it. I would cook it. If you don't cook it, throw it out. Because if you freeze it and you take it out and you defrost it in your refrigerator and you forget again and then you go to cook it, the chances of it being not tasting so good, I mean, it's not going to have bacteria, but it could be turning and you don't want to eat that. With the Cryovac steaks and ground beefs, you are going to have at least 2 more days on those. Not lamb, not veal, but beef, bison, The red meats, you're going to have extra time on those. We are not going to sell them. However, keep this in mind. When you go and buy, and it's not all the time, but big delis, big grocery stores, they have delis for a reason, and they have big cases for a reason. They are turning over food that's going to go out, right? It's true. It happens. It's how we do it, because you can't lose all of that food. So, and that's another reason why delis should not hold food. My thing about having a deli, and I feel like this is every deli should think this way. When you buy deli food, and I know anybody that goes to your favorite deli and buys a salad, whatever it is, potato, coleslaw, whatever you're getting, you're getting it, you're buying it, you're sticking it in the refrigerator, and you could have that sitting there for up to 5 days, and then you open it and you're like, oh, this sucks, it's bad, and you throw it out. So for me, I know that my deli food is gonna sit on average in somebody's refrigerator 5 days. So that's why I have a pretty tight schedule of 36 hours. Oh, see? So I'm kind of spot on with this, right, Cass? I feel like. I have to drink some water. Sorry, TikTok. I'll drink it off camera. Yeah, it's really, I thought, this is behind the scenes. So then when you go to like a fish purveyor, like your Happy Little Fish purveyor, and you see like marinated fish or marinated meats, not all the time, but much of the time, especially in a deli situation or fish purveyor, those meats were about to go out and they're trying to get the last bit of money on those. Now, for me, I don't do it that way. If I'm going to do marinated meats, they're fresh, because I know people are going to keep it for a long time. However, if I'm making prepared dinners to go, we pull 2 days off, sometimes 1 day off, and I'll make a stew. I'll make things that I know people are going to eat quickly, and we push that food out, and then we watch and pull it quickly. We won't give it like a 5 day, because our dinners have a 5 day shelf life, but I'll watch. No, you can't. Cheryl, another thing, immunocompromised people. It is very important for somebody who's immunocompromised to probably not buy prepared foods. And the reason why is because once food hits the air that it's prepared, it begins to break down. Once it goes in, and this is like, when I say immunocompromised, anybody that's going through like chemo treatments or, are really suffering, it's probably better to, if you have the energy or you have somebody that can, it's better to eat your food prepared fresh. Because the minute food starts breaking down, you get bacteria, you get, just from the air. It's just normal. I don't trust marinade because I'm sensitive to MSG and it's usually all preservatives. Yep, Erica, that can happen too. All of those things combined, I worry about stuff like that. It's what's led me hardly ever eating anything but vegetables. Yeah, but vegetables, rice. Rice is on the top. Tofu is in the top. Hummus for listeria. I mean, those things are huge. And we're going to talk about that in a minute also. Let's go back to eggs for a minute. Eggs, for storing eggs, they can never, ever, ever be next to produce. Can't do it. You got to separate it. Yep, we will talk about rice. We will talk about rice. So chicken coop eggs, you do not have to, if you don't rinse them and wash them, they can stay out on your counter. Yeah, birthday sale is active. So guys, for my birthday yesterday, we dropped the price for all the cooking classes to $19.64, which is my birthday year. And all of the meal plans are $61. So I think everybody's listening today, Tyler, and working. This is one of those, like, it's like a podcast today. But yes, keep sharing and keep loving the live, because we're starting to move. It's out there. Dang, I have to go to work. I wish I could be here. Listen on your way. Listen on your way. And obviously this is going to go on YouTube. It's going to go YouTube. Different shelf. Yep. Eggs should always be stored on a bottom shelf. If you're not storing them on your door, they should actually go on the bottom shelf. If they crack, you risk contamination. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm talking to you guys about professional kitchens. But, if you like to cook and your refrigerator is stuffed with food, it's not a bad idea to understand food safety. Because your food is my food, right? Like, your food is coming from the same purveyors or same kind of producers. Mistakes are made. People are working sick. Remember, the food industry is suffering greatly for employees. It's not just about immigration. It's not just about any of that. It is the way people want to work these days, the way people don't want to work, how much they want to get paid. It's everything. It's not just one thing. So, things are moving quicker. There's less people, less training is happening only because there's not enough staff. There's not enough people to go around. So I think everybody's doing their best. Bottom shelf, because if they break, crack, have disease or are not good, and they crack or they drip, or something falls on fresh produce, on berries, and you don't realize it and you eat it, you risk foodborne illness. Is it going to happen? The chances are very, very rare. But is it possible? It's possible. So we were just talking yesterday, and I was thinking shortages are causing compromises. I think so, Lisa. There's not a lot of the labor pool in the food industry is shrinking, and it's not just because of what might be happening with the administration. It's happening because after COVID, things changed drastically. The way people want to work, the way people feel, all of it. So it's a crazy time. Where are the items chef uses in her kitchen? Cookware, cutting boards. Kimberly, if you go, actually there's a link in the recipe packet that you got for the class, the salad class. But if you go to the link in the bio, you scroll all the way to the very bottom, it says Chef's Kitchen Essentials, right? Snickers, it's very hard for me to hire people. It's not easy these days. Kids don't want to work. I also notice when I get apprentice people or interns, they already call themselves chefs. They don't want to learn. They think they already know everything. So we have a lot going on. It's a crazy time. Sorry, a lot of people don't want to work anymore. Ethics not like they used to be. Yeah, the work ethic is very, very, very different, Kelly. I see it. And unfortunately, in my industry, people they're looked down on, right? People think that the food industry is less than. But I think, personally, the food industry is more important than an attorney, or a person on Wall Street. We're handling the food that nourishes people. So it's in all fields. And we are, it is very true. I'm very concerned for the future of the elderly. I'm getting there. I think about it all the time because I have that level of people in my shop, and it's rough. It's very rough, and we are not treated, the food industry is not treated respectfully, and it's unfortunate. but it's because we have been told that food should be cheap. And that is not the case. Pay now, pay later. I remember when in the 70s and 80s, we needed a food license to work for restaurants. Yeah, now it's one person. But, in my shop, I offer it. We have everybody trained in food safety. It is offered every 5 years. When I'm up for my renewal, whoever's in my kitchen is offered the service and we pay for it. There you go, Kelly, right? Rachel Ray, exactly. I'm inspired by the surge in farming with the younger generation. Lisa, that is true too. There is a surge in farmers. I have somebody who worked in my shop for a couple of years, and he has built an unbelievable farm upstate. They do a CSA, and they're a teaching farm, and they're teaching. It's wonderful. Yes, there is a surge in regenerative agriculture that warms my heart. But there is also a surge in fighting that kind of thing. All right, so good personal hygiene, preventing cross-contamination. Let's talk about time and temperature. Time and temperature. So foods have to be kept out of the danger zone. And the danger zone for food is 40 degrees and below. I have so much respect for farmers now that I eat healthy. Yes, farmers in this country are another group that have been pushed aside and treated very poorly. And there is a resurgence, which is wonderful. Okay, so below 40 degrees and above 140. So in between 40 and 140 is where bacteria grows. And keep in mind, some people go, oh, you can, if you get bacteria in your food, all you got to do is cook it. Now, that may be true for some, but for some bacteria, and we're going to cover some of the foodborne illnesses I'm going to share with you, and you're going to get grossed out and want to puke. But I think it's important to know. So this is very important to my picnic people, to my dinner party people, to my people who are doing buffets. For years, it was you have 4 hours to drop or reheat. And I was saying that last night or Monday night. They have changed that. Now they're saying 2 hours, which is crazy. I think that I'm not going up against the FDA. And I certainly abide by that when I'm catering, for sure. With buffets, we don't leave food out for 2 hours. However, if you're at a party and, you're having a graduation party, or you're outside, or you're barbecuing, you're having things go on this summer, pay attention to this rule. So cook foods to a safe internal temperature. So poultry is 165. You're going to get the chart too. When you get this little packet, you're going to have the chart. This is why they talk about, like, if you want a rare hamburger or a rare steak and it's 135, you cannot leave that sitting on a grill. You cannot leave a rare burger. That person that wants the rare burger has to eat it when it comes off the grill. You don't want it to sit there. A well-done burger, you got 2 hours. A well-done steak, you got 2 hours. But when you're talking about rare meats, and if I'm going to eat steak, I want it rare. I don't like it well done. I don't like it medium well. I don't like it that way. I rarely eat it, but when I do, I want it rare. I like it medium rare. That's with the pink center, and you get that little ring of sort of like pinkish gray. That's medium rare. So you got to be very careful. Okay? Also, refrigerate perishables promptly. Do not leave food out for more than 2 hours at room temperature. Cleaning and we're going to touch more about it. Here, let me go down. Medium rare, yes. Okay, hold on. Let's go. I'm going to go down. I want to talk about this for a second. I have a whole section for you guys on picnic food. I thought you would love that. So hot food has to be kept at 140 degrees. If you're going to have a buffet, but get a little temperature. They're expensive, but I think you could get one on a, I should put one on my kitchen essentials page. So you could do two things. You could do a meat thermometer. So we call that a probe where it goes in. But if you're going to have like chafing dishes and you want that food out for more than 2 hours, it shouldn't sit out for more than 2 hours. But if you're going to, 1 hour in temperatures above 90 degrees. And if food's out left longer, you have to throw it away to be safe. Are you going to get sick? The odds are slim. The odds are slim. And the most likely will be stomach cramp, diarrhea. After that, true foodborne illnesses, real, like the hardcore stuff, it's highly unlikely. But to be safe, and for all my germ phobes out there and freaks like me, I'm not leaving my food out. How long for leftover meats in a fridge? That's a good question. Again, if you're not immunocompromised or you don't have any health issues, I would say if you're not going to eat it right away, what we do in my house is after dinner, I pack the food in little dinner containers, and if I know it's not going to get eaten, goes in the freezer. And then if it doesn't, and if my mom is going to grab it and take it, 2 days would be max. And if you're not going to eat it in 2 days, throw it in the freezer. How long is canned tuna good for in the fridge? Canned tuna? I mean, if you don't open it, you're fine. For whatever, I don't know, whatever the date is. I mean, a year? I don't know. But are you saying, canned tuna, are you opening the can and making tuna salad? Well, now, again, you've made it. It's got mayonnaise. Did you leave it out? Did you eat it? Those are things that you want to ask yourself. But if you have a canned tuna, just look at the expiration date on the cans. And canned food, you've got a little more time. In my opinion, sometimes I hold my canned food a little longer than what it says, but. So, that's a good question, Snickers. For me, in the kitchen, I let the steam come off my food. I let it cool down a little because, when you put hot food in your refrigerator to cool, you've got, yes, glass would be the best way to store food. Mason jars, anything like that. And you want to wait till, all right, hold on, let's go slow here. There's good questions. You let the food cool, and then you want to let it go all the way down below 40 before you cover it. Because what happens is if you take your food out, suppose you're doing meal prep for the week, right? And you prep all your food hot, right? You put it in your containers. You've got to let that cool, get it in the fridge, bring it down to 40 degrees, and then cover it. And the reason why is because if you cover that and then it's hot and the steam rises and the condensation, that food has nowhere to go. So now think about a hot house. Think about how it like creates like a damp environment. What happens when you have a damp environment? Mold grows, things like that. So you really want to wait till your food is down. And for my germ phobes, and I call you germ phobes and freaks because I'm one of them, so I'm not insulting you, buy a thermometer. Get two. I'll put it, one of them is like a surface temp. And they could run anywhere from like $40 to, I'm going to take my sweater off. The sun is coming through and it's getting warm in here, but I'm not allowed to take it off on camera. Can you imagine? I'll put one on my kitchen essentials page, but think about that, right? It's like a hot house. So you want to cool it. I get very iffy about some of what you're asking because even for me, I get a little confused sometimes. I know the answer, but it sometimes doesn't make sense, especially because, I have a big walk-in that I try and keep at between 38 and 40, right? Because every time you put something hot, and so when you have a refrigerator at home, I keep my refrigerator at home. Sometimes I try and keep it 36, 38 for this reason. if you're keeping your temperature control on your refrigerator at like 40, 42, and then you put hot food in it, how long does it take to cool down your refrigerator again? You know? So if you have the option of making it a little cooler something we got a filter. So if you asked a question, somebody got filtered. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some of my coffee. You're trying to teach who about food poisoning? Food poisoning is a strong word, Kelly, right? That's strong. I would offer to say it a little differently, like foodborne illness, or because when you say it like that, in my mind, that's like a deliberate thing. For eat stuff over a week old. So, how old are they? How old? What about when you make a large amount of soup? Okay. So Kimberly, that's like we make 20 quarts. He's 28. Okay. So that the effect of what he's doing is not going to reach him for a while. But maybe what you do, Kimberly, when you get this packet, offer it to him. Let him read it. And then he will understand, because when you start reading about the foodborne illnesses and what happens, it might help him change his mind, right? Sometimes people, they have to see it. You know, there's a really big culture of people who it is very upsetting for them to throw food out. And they might be coming from a place where, you never know, right? Like food was scarce, that food scarcity thing after a week. I mean, if he's putting it in the, maybe you encourage him to freeze the food and take it out and reheat it, do it like that. But, he might come from a place where food was scarce growing up, and he didn't, listen, you only need one time with diarrhea and stomach cramps and you learn your lesson. It's a tough lesson to learn, but, but it might be coming from an emotional place, and he doesn't know, and food was scarce for him, or he grew up being told that you never throw food out, right? Like how many of us are in that 55 to 65 range that heard, oh, people are starving all over the world. Don't waste food. So you don't know what's going on for him. So maybe you give him these notes, and he'll learn for himself, Yeah, so many of us. See, you learned your lesson in the mid-20s. Yeah, you don't realize like I said before, right? How many times are we hearing now of recalls, lettuces, all of these things? Yeah. So, it could be so many of those things, and we just don't know. Here, let's take a commercial break. Cookbook is out. We got soup, and we're going to talk about cooling soup down, because this is a tough one. Soup, a soup cookbook. I have 28 soups. It's really wonderful. So many of them are gluten-free. It's great for food prep. All of my cooking classes that are live are Sunday cooking classes. I had a German exchange student. He said a few times that his dad would not be approved to throw away food. Yes. It is, that is huge. I have a friend. She will eat everything. No, I have the same cookbook. Not yet. And there's so many things. So if you click the link in the bio, all the cooking classes are on sale. Our meal plans are on sale if you want to do for my birthday, turning 61. So the cooking classes are $19.64, and the meal plan is $61 for my age. So they're all there for you. All right. So let's talk a little bit about picnic food service. Yeah, so click the link in my bio and you'll find all the stuff. There's something for everyone and all our recipes. If you join that, you can also become a subscriber here. Then you go in and join the recipe vault. There's over 300 recipes in there, kitchen pharmacy classes, all of that. And then also there's just something for everyone. So, kind of peruse in there, and it's great. There's really valuable information in there, and that's how you'll get your kitchen pharmacy class today with all your notes. It's great. You can see all of the replay lives on YouTube. Tyler has been unbelievable in loading those very quickly now, so it's great. And we need to hit 1,000. We're almost there, 1,000 subscribers over there. And thank you for my whale diver. My inner Robin says, tap and share. Yes, for Robin, when she comes back someday after doting over her beautiful grandson, she's going to be so happy that we kept our 100,000 likes. So keep that going. It really helps our lives. So yeah, we have all of those things happening. So if you're here for the first time and you're watching us for the first time, my name's Chef Liz. I've been a chef for 40 years, and I've been in the same health food store, Nature's Temptations in Connecticut, for the past 20 years. And my gift gallery is now full. Wow. And I've been there for 20 years, and our jam, the owner and I, Jeff, we believe in food and healing. That is what I do. And back in September, I decided to come on here and really start to share what we do here and talk about, hey, Jordan, thank you for my heart. So I really share all about food and healing, and there's tons of recipes, and this kitchen pharmacy class has become pretty popular, and there's a lot of good information. You loved it? I'm so glad to hear that, Kelly. It's great, right? So, okay, so what else? Rice. Let's talk about rice for a second. Rice is one of those foods that is very very prone to foodborne illness. Good morning, Angel Eyes. How are you? Hi, Nani. Thanks for the follow. And if you make rice and you store it, you need to store that cold. I would not leave it for more than 3 days, because once you do that, bacteria is going to grow. September 24th is a Wednesday. Anniversary sales will be coming. Woo! Kelly, my daughter lives on rice too, and I was making it and saving it, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? She already has gut issues. It grows bacteria very, very, very quick. Copper, don't worry, because this is going to get posted, and Tyler posts these really quickly. You'll be able to watch it. So don't worry. It's going to get posted on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch the replay. So you want to be really careful about how you cook and store rice. It is not one of those foods that I would eat. Yeah, rice and salmon. There you go. Those are big ones. So for sure, just make sure that you are eating it quickly. It's a lot easier to make rice every other day than make it and store it. I wouldn't do that. Because remember, rice is damp. It carries a lot of humidity. So how about raw rice not cooked? How long can we keep them? You mean like just dry rice before you cook it? I don't know, 5 months, 6 months, a year? How are you storing it? Are you storing it in a mason jar? Are you storing it tightly sealed? You're fully vegan, Jordan. We have for you. So when you join and I see you're a subscriber, I would say 75% of my recipes can be turned vegan. And I'm a professionally trained vegan chef. There's going to be a live cooking class, and it's $19.64 right now. What date is that vegan cooking class? I don't even know. It's a Sunday night, and I think it's August 10th. Oh, they have chef labels. Oh, okay. On the sub, you can get a lot of access to it. If you. Oh my God. If you join the link in my profile, there is you can get to a whole little shop that gives you the recipe vault and all of that. I don't have a vegan cookbook out yet. but it's on my list. But if you join it, and just go to the link in my bio and click on all the things that sound good to you. But my recipes can always be turned, and I do a lot of notes about that. And I infuse in all of my classes vegan food, always. Um, I haven't heard it like that. Angel, I have not heard, I haven't heard that it should be, but it should be refrigerated. And it is one of those things that should be cooled down completely. Yeah, it's better to do that. Angel, make it for one meal. Maybe make it for the next day if you want rice again, but I would not make rice to hold long term because it's very high in water content and moisture, and it's going, it there's too much potential to grow bacteria. Now, for the person who has a strong gut, in terms of bacteria, it's not going to bother you. But those immunocompromised people are going to have a very tough time eating that rice. They're going to get a stomach upset. And you don't want that, right? You don't want that. Hold on. I want to look up a note. We make rice and use it pretty quickly. That is one of those things. Bye, Tyler. Thank you. See you later. So, some of the things that will help with rice is you can wash it before you cook it. Like you can rinse the grain. That helps. You want to obviously cook it thoroughly, and listen to this. 175. If you were going to actually cook the temperature of rice, you're at a minimum. Yeah, 167, not 175. 167. Thank you for my cheers, Maria. You want to avoid. This is another thing. I just was looking up a note. Minimal handling, right? You don't want to touch. You don't want to touch rice with your hands. You want to serve it immediately. If you're not serving it right away, you have to keep the cooked rice above 140 degrees until you serve it. And then you have to cool it quickly, right? So leftover rice, you want to cool very quickly. Wow, who knew? Kelly, I have to tell you, when I took this class. I've taken the Serve Safe class probably 8 times in my career. A lot. And I learned something new every single time. You can't yes. I just wanted to look up that 2-hour mark. It is. Cooked rice should not sit out for more than 2 hours. So if you forget about it on the stove, it has to go in the garbage. It does grow toxins. You're going to refrigerate cold rice. So once it cools down, then you're going to put a cover on it, and you got to eat it within 3 days, 4 days max. I think that's too long for me. You only can reheat rice one time. You only reheat rice once. So if you reheat rice and then you eat it and then you serve it for leftovers the next day and you have more, it has to go in the garbage. You can't reheat it again. Rice is tricky. Repeat cooling and healing causes bacteria growth in rice. Let's see. What else? What else can I tell you about rice? I think that's kind of it. It has to be at a temperature, like you have to have that as a holding temperature. The bacteria is called Bacillus cereus, something like that. And it's from a heat-resistant spore. So that means it's going to survive cooking, right? That's why they say you can't heat rice twice. You cannot reheat it. So for fried rice syndrome, they call it. It's a food poisoning symptoms, nausea, not nausea. You hear my New York accent? Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and cramps. It doesn't get destroyed by reheating. You hear that? So this is where we talk about, yeah, thank you, Cheryl. So incognito, exactly what she said. That bacteria doesn't die from reheating. It doesn't die from freezing and then taking it out and reheating. I can't tell you anything about Korean rice cookers. I personally, that to me sounds like what we were just talking about before. Those Korean rice cookers that they leave the rice in the bucket. Now, they might be good at that holding temperature. And what do we say the holding temperature is for rice? But it's only for a certain amount of time. What did I say? Holding temp. 140. Gotcha, boy. This is an eye opener for me. Is it okay to store it in the fridge and eat it cold? Cold rice, but not. Okay, so here you go, right? I just wanted to look this up on the FDA. Hot held rice at 140 degrees is up to 4 hours. After that, see for my ServSafe too. I wanted to make sure. ServSafe and FDA food code guidelines. After 4 hours, the rice should be discarded to prevent the risk of bacteria growth and toxin formation. Remember, that Bacterium cereus does not die when you reheat the food. Now that's why they say you have to reheat food to 165 because it kills the bacteria with rice toxin. This is why it's so important to know about rice. I go to a busy Chinese restaurant and they have their rice in a big steamer and they serve them all day. I don't know, Copper. You've never had a problem? I would say, okay. But I can't tell you that. I don't. I'm drinking my coffee. Hold on. I'm off camera. Thank you for my heart. It's cool, right? I'm so glad this is good information for you guys. I'm going to give you all this information too. You're going to get it in the recipe vault. It's good information to know, right? All right. Now, let's talk. Thank you. For anybody that's new here, a little commercial side break, and we'll surprise him. Maybe we could get 5 cooking classes sold today to surprise Tyler. Go look at all the classes that are upcoming, and they're on sale till 7 o'clock tonight. Kelly, but how do they cook the rice? They can't be cooking rice to order. Unless it's super instant. Where will you post the info on rice? I want to learn what I missed. Incognito, it'll go in the recipe vault. And I'll ask, I leave all posting up to Tyler now. Wow, never paid attention, but I did have to run to a bathroom a few times. Interesting, Copper. Interesting, right? Hi, Insta. If you are running to the back, and we're going to go over this. We have a lot. Maybe we'll stay on a little longer today. I'm only on till 9:30, but I think we're going to go because we haven't even scratched the surface unless you want a part 2. Okay, so serving, let's talk about picnic food. So when you have a picnic, now yesterday I said 4 hours, but I was looking this up and they have changed this. The FDA compliance is 2 hours, which is what I normally do anyway. But I've always said you have 4 hours to get the food from out of the danger zone, meaning 40 degrees to 140 before you have to worry about bacteria growth. in a big wok, like a pan, takes a minute. So not like fast food. Yeah, Kelly, I don't know. I don't know. If you've never had a problem, maybe it's okay. But like Hopper's saying, a few times she's run to the bathroom. So is that because of the rice? The top food, the top food for bacteria growth. Hold on, I want to do this with you guys. Hold, please. I want to give you this list, because I have to have patience. Wait, what? All right. So the top, yeah, I will do a whole section on rice because it's actually important. But hold on. Also, you know, tofu is the same thing. Tofu falls in this category. Hummus, beans follows in this category. Cooked beans for listeria. Listeria is no joke. If you're immunocompromised, older, a baby, listeria, that's not good. Not really a minute. It takes time for your order to be cooked at Chinese place I go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't understand, you know, the Korean, Chinese, all the rice that they cook. I mean, they've been cooking it for thousands and thousands of years, longer than we've all been alive. And I don't know if they're in their cultures outside of this country is rice. I don't know the answer, but all this confirms my spaghetti dinners are the best safety-wise. Yeah, it could be a fresh bean salad, like green beans. A few days. Remember, every day your food sits, it loses nutrients and gains bacteria. Think of it that way. For my huge client. Yes, exactly. So if you are, so when you look at it that way, hold on. If you look at it that way, oh, what about the soups? Okay. Yes, let's talk about soups. Give me 1 second. I forgot about soups. So if you're making a pot of soup on the stove, the best way to do that is 2 things. You can't let it sit on the stove. Like if you have a big one, like if you're making 6 quarts of soup or 8 quarts of soup, that's a lot of soup to cool down. There's a couple of things you can do. You can fill your sink with ice, and then with the ice, put ice cold water in there. So you're creating an ice bath, and you can take, what I do is I turn my soup over into another pot that's not hot, and I drop it into the ice bath. And then you have a probe thermometer that starts to bring that down. Because think about it. You can't cool it on the stove. It's not going to cool down. And I would do that an hour after, or maybe a half an hour, let that steam rise. If you have a hotel pan, stainless steel, not aluminum, if you have like a hotel pan and you want to pour it into that, so it's you know, or a roasting pan that's sort of long instead of deep, right? Wide instead of deep, so that it has time to cool a little better. You could do that. But you have to cool that down very quickly. Oh, somebody bought something in the stand store. Whoop, whoop. I don't have the happy birthday song today. Same thing, EXO. If you're making a black bean salad, every single day, your black bean salad is losing nutrients and growing bacteria. Now, that being said, I think when somebody buys my black bean salad, they're going to keep it for 5 days. Flat out. Anybody that's purchasing food from my deli is keeping things for 5 days. If you guys, you book 2 more, June, I love you. You know, if you book, what did he say, 3, you get the 4th one free. Did you book any yesterday? So if you do that, if you book 3 classes today, you get a code from Tyler and you get a 4th cooking class for free. Yeah, a bunch of bowls to cool. Oh, you did? Okay. So, let me, he'll see it. I know he will. He's pretty good about that. For Tyler. June booked 4 classes. All right, you're going to get a free class. The fourth free was just for last night. Oh, was it? Oh, all right. Oh, maybe. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Yes, glass bowls, not plastic. Yeah, glass, glass, glass. Gotta go. Bye, Elia. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so if you're making for a few days, get your sink, change the pot so you're not putting the hot pot with the hot soup in. 3 classes last night, but not sure what the code was for the free class. All right, Heather G, let me write that down for him. He's going to email everybody, I think. I mean, we're still small enough that we can catch it. Free class. He's going to totally do it. We have to do that. We have to book 5 classes today for him. He's going to be so happy. It'll be a big surprise. Or if we book 8 and then we do 2 free. So far we booked 2 more today. So check in there and see if there's something you love. Also the food, like if you want to do a 7-day meal plan with me. Oh, and I think today I'm going to log on and get my license, like get a certification. I'm excited. It's going to be like I think it's 20 weeks. And then I don't have to put so many disclaimers on everything that I do. I'm very excited. Heather G will send email with code. Oh, somebody else just booked something. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. I don't have the happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. I know, Lisa, I'm kind of excited. I feel like I want to just go right to the test to take it, but I'm sure I'm going to learn something. All right. So let's talk about, we have a lot. If you guys want to hang tight, I'll keep going, or we can do a part 2 next week. The certification is going to be, it's called a functional holistic nutritionist. Oh no, Kelly. I understand. That's the worst. But you know what? Good for you. It's done. You don't have to think about it. You know, I say that to homeowners, right? For all us homeowners, you get a pile of money. I forget the name of it's Mark Hyman's school, who's a functional medicine doctor. And I kind of like the people that teach it. So, and I followed him for a number of years. So I was like, I like that one. Yeah, but right, you get a pile of money and then it goes to something you never see, like septic, well. We have septic, well, and oil and propane here. It's the worst. We have all 3. I know that feeling. I hate that. We got to do and the roof. Yeah, all that nonsense. Not a vacation. All right, well, stay here with us. Don't worry. We still got you. We're loving you up. All right. So serving for a picnic, 2 hours. That's what you get. That's it. And then the food has to go in the garbage. You cannot pack it up and send it to people's homes. Think about it. If they have an hour ride or a half an hour ride, that's more time out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Eat it, dump it, unfortunately. So make enough that you have enough. And if you run out, and believe me when I say I'm Italian. I grew up in a new Jewish neighborhood. If you're Italian or you're Jewish, you know you wanted to have extra food. I know. April, we have well water. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So foods like chicken salad, desserts, and individual serving dishes, they can be placed directly on ice or in shallow containers, set in deep pan filled with ice, drain it off. Now they have like cooling mats, I think. I know they have heater mats. There's a lot of new stuff that you can do if you like to entertain. I know I love my well water too. Although, Kelly, we're in an area upstate New York that has arsenic in it. So we have our well water tested every 2 years, and we do like the really big panel, and we get good results. Like I can drink right out of my tap. We do also have a filter, but it's great. Did you ever do a parasite cleanse since I missed several contents from being ill? Did I personally do one? I have not, but I'm getting ready to. We got Kinetico water softener system. It cleans great. Yeah, we have a water softener and filter. The Berkey water system, I don't know it. I'd have to see it. I think reverse osmosis is really good, but honestly, you have to get a good plumber that knows knows systems and knows your area, and you should be testing your water before you go and buy a filter, because you might buy some great filter and not need it, or you might buy a great filter and you need one of those blue lights on it to kill a certain bacteria that maybe you would not have known about. So for me, water filtration systems for your home, I have not done it specific, but you just got something in your email, Mama. Go look in your email that I just sent you. XO, again, I would reach out to a very good plumber in your neighborhood that knows the water. They are going to recommend the right filter for you. Everything you need to know about that cleanse, because I don't think I can talk about that on a live. I think we're going to get restricted and shut down unless I say bugs. Yeah, that I would do it that way, XO, because they're going to know your neighborhood. They're going to know water, if you have well, if you're on city. It just depends. And every place is so different. Okay, so serving a picnic food, right? Once you've served it, it should not sit out for 2 hours, 1 hour if the outdoor temperature is above 90 degrees. Do you hear that? And then if it does go longer, you have to throw it out. Hot food should be kept hot on or above 140. So, check your surface temperature, wrap it well, place it in insulated containers until serving. And just as with cold food, these foods should not sit out for more than 2 hours. Okay? Safe grilling. Let's talk about grilling. Marinated foods sit inside the refrigerator, never go on a kitchen counter or sit outdoors. So if you plan to marinate in a sauce or cooked food, you have to reserve the portions separately before adding the raw meat, poultry, or seafood. Don't reuse the marinade. That's great, Kelly. Also, you want to, good morning from Idaho, Cheyenne. How are you? You're going to get all this information. So, even if you're taking notes, you're going to get it all. Now, immediately after partial cooking, before grilling. What they mean by that is like, when I do ribs, I showed you 4 times a week. Great info. Yes. If you're going to do your ribs halfway and then you're going to put them on the grill, you have to go from partial to grill. You cannot have a gap in that. You hear that? So if you partially cook a pork rib, like I boil it, but I boil it all the way till you could eat it out of the pot. And then I marinate it and I do it in the oven, or I'll put it on the grill. That's a little different because I'm cooking it all the way. You could actually, it doesn't taste good boiled, but that's how I do it. But if there's any partial cooking going on before the grill, you must go from partial cooking to the grill. You cannot wait in between. Now, are you going to wait 15 minutes? That's okay. But if you're going to wait an hour or 2 hours, you run the risk of bacteria growth. Bacteria and illness like hepatitis A or something, they're a little different because many times those bacteria don't die from reheating up to like 165. You have to cook it thoroughly. When it's time to cook the food, have your food thermometer ready and always use it. So always have a good probe thermometer. Don't reuse platters or utensils. You got to use clean. Sometimes you put the raw meat on with tongs. You have to have separate ones to flip and turn. You can't use the same raw meat because think about it. You're using a tong, right? You're putting the meat on. Now you're brushing. And I would get the silicone brushes. Even though I love the bristle brushes, they're not safe. So make sure you get like a silicone brush to brush your marinade. And again, if you're brushing the marinade onto raw meat, you have to have a separate bowl as your meat cooks more. What about partial cook then fridge? No. Can't do it. Listen, if you've been doing it forever, Cheryl, the chances of you growing bacteria are less than if you were to grow it, right? But Chef, I do homemade juicing. Okay. I take my husband's tools to wash and he's like, "Where's my stuff?" I buy him a separate set. So buy him two. Buy him a pastry brush for raw and a pastry brush and tongs. So when he's cooking, he has both. Hey, CK, thanks for my heart. Listen, we've been doing the same thing forever. It's sort of like, you put your Thanksgiving turkey in the garage to defrost. All of those things have been happening forever. We grew up doing them this way and nobody's ever gotten sick. The issue has become that food and the people handling it has changed, right? It just has. And is that bad or good? I don't know. It's just different. So the more we do to safeguard ourselves, and think about this, right? The food and the people handling it has changed. And so has the health of our nation. There are a lot of people with autoimmune issues, immunocompromised, cancer, brother, it's hotter than two squirrels wrestling in a pair of Ugg boots. Hello, Chris. Where's on brand when we need him? Your partner in crime. So you want to, so you know what I mean? So people are much more sensitive. People are, we're just not feeling as well. So the more we protect ourselves, the better we are. I call us germphobes or freaks. I put my bucket in a garage for a day, then to fridge, always worry about it. Kelly, exactly. I mean, if we do that in our shop, we have to throw out every turkey that we have. And I get 100 turkeys. And they are what they call flash frozen. So there's only an inch on the birds. But if I leave them out of the walk-in when they get delivered for more than 30 minutes to stock them in, I have to throw them all out. Right. It does. I get it. Can you touch on vegetable safety? Yep, we're getting there now. Don't reuse platters. Okay, check foreign objects in food. Okay, let's see. So safe refrigerator storage. You got to keep the refrigerator cold. It has to stay on or below 40 degrees. Like I said, I keep my refrigerator 36, 38. If I put something hot in there, it might go up to 42, but I'm always worried, right? Always have a thermometer. Don't overfill your fridge so cold air can circulate. Oh, I'm very bad at that. Store foods in order. Here you go. Top shelf, ready to eat foods like leftovers, cooked meats, deli items, and prepared salads. Upper middle shelf, dairy products, milk, cheese, and eggs. Lower middle shelf, raw seafood, whole cuts of raw seafood and whole cuts of beef and pork. And I would put them in containers if you could. Second from the bottom, ground meats and ground seafood. Bottom shelf, raw poultry, whole chickens or turkeys, and anything that must be cooked to the highest temperatures. Now, they've reversed that. This is FDA guidelines. They've reversed that for ServSafe. My guy yesterday was saying that it was beef. I never heard that, ever. Ever, ever, ever. But I'm listening to him because he's the one that's giving me my violations. So I have to listen. Use covered containers. You have to store in leak-proof food safety. Like somebody was saying to me before, I think it was Copper, you bought 2 steaks and they were wrapped in brown paper. When you put those in your refrigerator, you have to put them in a container so nothing's leaking. Don't overload your fridge. A packed fridge prevents cold air from circulating. And don't overload your, okay, use the FIFO method. We call that in our place, first in, first out. Always check your dates. You buy milk, you forgot that you had milk, and you buy new milk, check your dates. Always put one in front of the other so you know whatever has the oldest date you're using first. I am the worst at that. I forget what I buy because I shop every day in my store and I'm like, oh, did I get 8, whatever it is? And then I'm like, oh, I have it already. And now I'm doing my FIFO method. Yes, too much vegetables, not enough room. It's a lot of food. When you cook at home, things grow. Especially if you have 4 or 5 ingredients, that pot fills fast. And if you're only feeding 2 or 3 people, you got to make it go to, you got to make that last. Keep eggs in their carton and inside the fridge, not on the door, because the door is always warmer and it's exposed to temperature change. Interesting, right? Always maintain food, always marinate foods in the fridge. So never marinate meat, poultry, or seafood on the counter and then leave it out. Clean up spoils right away, obviously. So much food, so little time. Yes. Okay, let's talk about, and we didn't even talk about bacteria growth yet, but there's so much to go to before we get to the gross stuff. All right. So let's talk about, all right, we talked about rice. I want to talk about like the top 8 or 9 foods. Rice is one of them. So let's talk about the most commonly linked to foodborne illness. Yes, Cheyenne. And really they should be on the bottom. What's recommended for door storage in a fridge? Things that are more shelf stable. If you like to keep like sodas or seltzer, I keep cooking wines on my door. I keep, cherries, mustard. Those are the kinds of things I keep. Condiments. Yeah. Oh, Kelly. Yeah, I'm with Kelly. Those kinds of things. I do keep butter on my door. Cream cheese. Okay. Poultry. Chicken, duck, turkey, pheasant, capon, all of those things. Often contaminated with salmonella and Campylobacter, which undercooking or cross-contamination is a major source of illness. This is one thing where I would say, if you're handle your raw chicken, wipe everything down, clean everything, put it all away, and then do your next thing. Gail, that is completely up to you. I still have plastic containers. I'm very careful of what I put in my plastic containers and the kind. Like, I don't buy cheap plastic because those are going to have BPAs and like all the shitty stuff. I'll buy things. If I'm going to buy plastics, I'm going to buy the ones that talk about no phthalates, no BPAs, no PFSAs. So if I'm going to use plastic, I do that. I do a lot of my dry flowers and all of that in the really good plastics. I buy them at the Container Store and they're freaking ridiculous expensive, but I feel safer doing that. Good morning. Good morning, Sassy. So I would say that. Vegetables, leafy greens, lettuce, spinach, cabbage, those carry the risk of E. coli, salmonella, and listeria. These are growing environments that are contaminated by water, improper handling, and they're often eaten raw. So they have to be handled properly. You should wash them, spin them dry. Be very careful. Do not eat them without cleaning them. Now, bagged, boxed. I will say that many times I am guilty of not cleaning them. And I'm also, some of the pre-wash stuff, I'm guilty of not cleaning. I'm going to say eat at your own risk. I don't like, so I try sometimes, like I buy arugula in the box. And I buy baby spinach in the box. I won't buy it in the bags because those they say you have to wash. So I'll buy them in the pre-washed. I don't know if they're safe or not. You know, those get recalled often. And pay attention to the stores that get a lot of recalls. I'm not calling them out here because I don't want to get in trouble or, you know, picked on, but yeah, you got to watch them, right, Jen? I get it. I totally get it. I'm with you. Exactly, Heather. I hope that you know that about me at this point. I'm not the person that's like, la, 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 you're gonna die, you know, you're gonna unalive if you do this or do. I don't like that. I simply want to give you the information, and then yes, I do. I use vinegar and baking soda to clean my berries. On my second salad spinner, wash all produce in it, not just lettuce. I know. I know. Hi, little voices. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. We've been talking about food safety today. I hope that you know that, Heather. I don't like the. I follow a lot of the people that stand there and go, you know, if you eat this, you're going to be sick, and you never should eat this. I don't like to do that. I think there's a couple of ingredients where I'm like, just don't eat them. They're not, you know, especially if you have A, B, or C, you can't eat it. But that's how I talk. I hope you know that. I'm very much that way when it comes to food, because food is tied to so much. I'm giving you information from the FDA, from the CDC, and my Serve Safe class. I want you to know. You know, it's very important. So fish and shellfish, it contains natural toxins. It's called scombroid or ciguatera, vibrio in oysters, and other pathogens if undercooked or improperly stored. Now, when any restaurant or a food handler orders shellfish, we get tags. They have to be tagged. They have to be tagged with a lot of information. And that is so that if something happens, if somebody gets sick, they are they are able to track it so that they can, you know, call in the recalls. So though that's really important. Now, there's something, how many things in the store actually come in plastic or put into plastic? I bring my own bags. So Cheyenne, a lot of places, like, we are not allowed to serve food. Like, if somebody brings us glass containers, we are not allowed to do that, and we are not allowed to cut packaged food. I don't do that, because if somebody gets sick or something happens, we're liable, because we're the last to touch that. So it's a no. I wanted to say, hey, Respect, thanks for the follow. Knowledge is definitely power. When I shop, these things that you share pop in my head. Exactly. So, wait, there was something I wanted to tell you in these notes that we were just talking about. Oh, fish and shellfish. Now, there is a reaction that people have. I want to talk about this with seafood. And I don't know the name of it, so I'm going to look it up. Okay, if you were going to eat seafood out in a restaurant, listen to this. This is crazy. I've seen it because when I was younger, I worked in a restaurant that served a lot of seafood. Thanks, Gal. Hold on. Okay. Okay, it's scombroid poisoning. Okay, it's often an allergic react. People mistaken it as an allergic reaction and a possible reaction of a histamine intolerance, but the scombroid poisoning is a histamine fish poisoning. So you go to a restaurant and you order a piece of fish, and you're drinking wine. what happens is within 10 to 60 minutes, you have a flushing or redness, you get weakness, burning or tingling in the mouth, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps. You can't even get up from the table you're sitting in. I have seen this happen 3 times. And I also saw it happen once with my mom, but she got home and the reaction happened. So the onset is very rapid. It's often immediately or within an hour after eating, and the symptoms could last quickly or a few hours. So it's due to this, it's an elevated histamine in the fish. It's not an allergy, it's a reheating or cooking doesn't destroy the histamine, and several people at the table may get sick or just one. So both, it's a histamine intolerance from seafood and wine. So the trigger reaction happens. And both the certain seafood and the wine, they're high in histamines. And if your body has trouble breaking that down, it's just like, it's just an overload to the symptom. So it's often immediate. And the alcohol, wine and other alcohols can suppress your body's ability to break it down. So, can you share thoughts or rules with sushi? I don't know enough, but yes. Is it only when you combine the wine and fish? I don't drink. Yeah, this is like you're drinking wine at the table and you eat fish. It's the combination of the two. A seafood allergy, like that causes vomiting, like, a shellfish allergy, that this is totally different. I'm talking about something different, completely different. But I'm gonna put this in here. It resolves in a day, but antihistamines and help, you gotta, you probably will have to have some support. So it happens to you in hibachi and sake and seafood. There you go. So you had that experience. Yeah. I've seen it happen, and I saw it with my mom, and in the restaurant, it doesn't happen often. And the combination, it's random. You don't know how you're going to get it, who's going to get it. Sometimes it happens, maybe if sometimes fish is stored on the line, it's stored on the oven line, on a rack, and they take it out to cook it as it's ordered. But it's going to happen. So, we don't know how lucky we are and how much there is. Like when you see these Serve Safe classes, when somebody actually takes it, and I've taken it probably 8 or 10, I don't even know, 8 times, I think I said, it's a lot. And, you don't realize how sensitive it is to do food, Wine and shrimp, it could be anything, any fish, any wine. It's just the combination. And the histamine of both levels are high. You're immunocompromised or you're not, or you just happen to be sensitive. It's just the way it goes. Kimberly, it's the combination of the wine and the alcohol. This happens to be called a poisoning, squamboid poisoning. All right, there was something you guys wanted me to talk to you about. What was it that we didn't get to? All right, you guys want to hear about yes. Yeah. My mom too. And you're like, what is going on? Automatically they think it's it's the restaurant. The restaurant got vegetables. Yes. Okay. Yes. So, produce houses and where they store it and the farms they come from. It happened to your friend and you. Yeah. It's amazing, right? Yeah. It's sort of a random poisoning, right? It's not going to happen to everyone. And the people it happens to, you just don't, it's like the luck of the draw. So for me, I don't drink. Well, I don't drink anymore like that. I rarely, if ever, drink. But when I saw that reaction and started to understand it, I never drink wine and or eat seafood together. I won't do it because of that. You don't know. Sangria only. There you go, mystical. That has wine though, right? Doesn't it have wine? It's so random. It's so random. So oh, let's see. Oh, clean spills. Okay, we did that. Okay, so vegetables that are eaten raw or minimally processed kind of lend themselves to or are a big source of foodborne illness. Can you say the poisoning again? It's called scomboid, SCOM. You're going to get it in your notes. Scomboid, it's scombroid, SCOMBROID poisoning. And it's where wine increases the histamine absorption and it causes some type of like poisoning to your system. Okay, so vegetables. Okay, well this is where a lot of our foodborne illnesses are going to come in. So it happens to you. See, a lot of you guys have had this happen. Lobster 6 years ago and you were drinking wine, right? And you got sick? Yeah. And automatically we think it's the food handling. Now, does the warmness of the fish in the restaurant where it's cooked have anything to do with it? It's unclear to me whether that's part of it, but I don't want to say. It's unclear to me. All right, I'm going to pull up for you guys the foodborne illnesses as we go through this because these are going to pop up. What is the sanitizer cleaner that you keep at your workstation in the kitchen? For me, I still use bleach. And in my bubble, it's very frowned upon. A tablespoon of bleach to water, 1 gallon of water. We also use these certain tablets for our dishes because we hand wash our dishes. And they go in the sanitizer. It has to be submerged for 30 seconds in order to be considered sanitized. And then they're dried upside down. 3-bay sink, rinse, wash, sanitize, which is what we should all be doing for dishes. Rinse, wash, sanitize. If you're a freak like me, you're doing that. I'm a germphobe. Freaks me out. I don't give a crap about hair. I give a crap about this stuff. We spend 30 seconds on hair in the Serve Safe. Tie your hair back. That's it. The places that you hear beard this, it's like institutionalized cooking, food production facilities, hospitals, nursing homes, schools, those kinds of places where they're in almost like a hazmat suit. You're not allowed. You are not allowed to use, the only thing that we can use in food production for washing. Oh, that's a big one. You know what you're washing with? Go look at your sponge. If you have a sponge on your kitchen sink that looks dirty, smells moldy, throw that thing out because what you're just washing your pots with mold and dirt. My sponges I use, we're not allowed to use sponges in a commercial kitchen. You are not allowed because they are harborers of bacteria, mold, grossness. Yes, I'm getting there, Cheryl. I am not leaving this live till you get that information. Vegetables are high on the list, leading source of foodborne illnesses. Harmful bacteria and viruses. This is where Hep A, Salmonella, E. coli comes in. And why is that? Remember, you're picking on a farm. Farm hands are pickers. They're boxing. Where are those boxings getting stored? What is inside those boxes? What's inside the warehouse, in the farm? Listen, Most farm establishments that are growing for the public are clean, neat, everything. But once in a while, now here's where, remember, you're going from the farms, they're boxing the produce. The produce is getting put in maybe in a farm area, in not a barn, but like a facility on the farm that's holding those boxes till the truckers get there, and then they go on a truck, and then from the truck they're going to a distribution facility that has a warehouse, and then the warehouse is putting them on another truck that is now going to a store, where a store is taking them from the truck, and then they're holding them and storing them, and now they're getting handled and washed and then put back on. Yeah, we've sold cooking classes today, Tyler. And how still only 22 shares? Uh-oh. Because we're all I can't defend everybody. We are not doing our job today. We need 100,000 likes and more shares and love. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. And so do you see the pattern, what I'm talking about? How many people are handling that produce before it gets to the kitchen table? In those warehouse spaces, I have heard stories. Are they true? Can't tell you. I haven't seen it myself. But things happen. Critters show up. E. coli happens. Food handlers, maybe, were they sick when they were picking? Were they sick when they were packing? When they sick? And they have to be extra clean. Work area, boxes, trucks. Exactly, Cheyenne. It is no joke. Things happen. I'm not cooking today. We're talking about food safety today, Jessica. At 4 o'clock today, I'll be on making burgers. So, common pathogens linked to vegetables. First one, salmonella. This is fecal oral transmission. People who show no symptoms can still spread the disease to others that can cause death. Don't know, gal. It could be 10 days, 5 days if you're ordering. Like some of my farms that I order from are harvest, and within 4 days I'm getting my produce. Some could take a week. Yep. Well, that's why we have to wash it. You can't skip that step. Thank you. Thank you, XO. So salmonella, this is the typhoid fever salmonella. That's crazy. So percentage change. So I have some food safety reports, right? For every salmonella case reported, there are 29 cases not diagnosed. Vinegar and baking soda, yeah, I could do that. Most of your produce could be done like that. You know, I saw this thing and I always wanted to get it. Did you guys see it? It was like on one of the TikTok or it's like somewhere they were showing this thing that it was like a tube and you threw it in and it was like some kind of like, I don't know if it was osmosis or something where it bubbled and ionized or something and it like popped the bacteria out. I've seen that. I was going to get it. I didn't. But I always think about that. So with salmonella, the incubation period is 5 to 72 hours. High fever, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, headache, fatigue, rash on the chest, abdomen. You know, it can cause unaliving. In compromised, aged, very ill people, babies, it's no joke. Salmonella comes from chicken. So, right, food storage. Now, you know, our refrigerators, if you think about it, are not set up for food storage in mind. Because I'm a WF is OM mushroom coffee. Okay, I can buy a single pack. Random on at Whole Foods. Yeah, you could get mushroom coffee. Sure. Yeah, buy a single pack. Try it if you like it. For sure. I would buy the if you're allowed, I forget. I think you said you have a sugar thing, but if you don't and you want to try the coconut sugar thing to just kind of balance that muddy flavor, you can get that. So you get it? Salmonella is no good. You don't want that. So, what I was saying, our refrigerators at home are not set up right because you have the is no good. You don't want that. So, what I was saying, our refrigerators at home are not set up right because you have the drains. The Shiga toxin is young, elderly, immunocompromised are at great risk, and this can cause unaliving E. coli naturally found in your intestines of all animals and human beings. So you got to cook your meat, especially ground, thoroughly so it doesn't prevent cross-contamination. Raw beef, usually only pasteurized milk and juice. Now, if you're into raw milk, you got to look at, no worries. I don't mind that there's no interruption. That's what we're here for. If you are using raw milk, now, New York, you're not allowed to sell raw milk. Connecticut, you can. So there's different states have different rules. So get to know them and know your farm. This is also Shigella toxin is a fecal oral transmission. It can be caused by water polluted with human feces. Some strains similar to E. coli 157, H7. It produces a toxin in young, elderly, and immunocompromised are the most at risk. Washing hands, especially after using the bathroom, no bare hand contact with ready-to-eat food. Wash your produce and obtain water from an approved source. This is 12 to 50 hours. Diarrhea, sometimes with blood or mucus, abdominal cramps, fever, and vomiting. From canned food. Canned meaning like homemade canned? Or like open a can with a can opener. I mean, it has to be processed and put in, Now, E. coli Shiga toxin, open a can, associated with leafy greens, lettuce, and spinach. Why? Now think about this, right? The E. coli Shiga toxin, it's handled. That stuff is handled and picked. It's packaged. So it's got human hands on it. It's not pasteurized, none of those things. Symptoms include bloody diarrhea, stomach cramps, sometimes a kidney failure. So you're talking about crazy stuff, right? Okay, here we go. Listeria. Contaminated from bag salads, pre-cut vegetables, and melons. Melons are a big deal in food service. Grows even in cold refrigerators. So listeria is no joke. Dangerous for pregnant women, elderly, immunocompromised. It causes fever, muscle aches, and in severe cases, miscarriage or unaliving. So listeria, for every one case, there were 2 cases not diagnosed. Cutting an unwashed melon is dangerous. Yes. Want to check something for you guys. Hi, B. Thanks for my heart. So listeria, this is the one that gets tricky because it can grow in cold environments. So you make a bucket of hummus and you put it in the refrigerator and you pack it. You don't really know. Good morning, Risa. You don't really know. So you need to have clean utensils, surfaces when you're making food. You have to wash your hands with soap and water. This is where gloves come in are so important. Safe handling, right? So when you got to wash your fruits and vegetables, running water, even if you plan to peel them. You want to use a scrub brush for a thick skin. So if you have a watermelon skin, honeydew, cantaloupe. Use that scrub brush. You want to separate ready-to-eat foods from raw. Refrigerate perishable foods within 2 hours. Keep it refrigerated. Avoid unpasteurized. Okay. Yep, we did those. All right. Next. Our leafy greens, our sprouts. So vegetables, more vegetables, right? Leafy greens, spinach, we did all that. The sprouts, alfalfa, mung bean sprouts are a high risk because of the warm, humid conditions they needed to grow in. Yeah, that's okay, June. That works. But remember all the bugs. So make sure you get in there. Though that's good to spray and soak and try and get those buggies out. Cynthia, I do cook for diabetic clients, but I work in a deli, in a health food store. So my clients come and purchase food, but if they have questions about being diabetic, I help them. So if you're here for the first time and you have questions, click on my link and go to that shop there. There's all sorts of resources there that you can look at. We have kitchen pharmacy. We have I work with people to help them create meal plans or just recipes to help with whatever their situation is. So if you go to the doctor and he goes, eat this and don't eat that, I take those for you and I help create recipes that you like. Risa, I love microgreens. Microgreens are great, but remember, in a warm environment, in that closed plastic container, that is a petri dish for bacteria growth. So you have to be careful. Get them from a reputable place. Watch, they're hard to wash. I do eat them. I have them in my refrigerator, but don't eat them past the date. Okay. Cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers, multi-state salmonella and E. coli outbreaks. And why is that? Because they are picked and processed, and it's E. coli is coming from the intestines of animals. So, and humans. So it's fecal. It can be transmitted that way. So you got to be careful. 3 to 9 days from the time you eat it. Microgreens, yeah, safe to eat. Now, Rhea, are you giving me that lobster and shellfish is there, is your emoji. Gotcha. All right. Vegetables become contaminated with water or soil, animal manure. Remember, think about mushrooms. They are grown in the soil. It is really important to wipe them clean. Improper washing and handling during the harvesting, processing, or at home. Mary, that's one of the reasons. I know they do. Oh, yeah, the cukes, yes. Yes, they do. Cross-contamination with raw meats, unwashed hands, or dirty equipment. Storage at unsafe temperatures. Okay, so we did sprouts, cucumbers. All right. Avoid purchasing pre-cut vegetables. Why is that? Especially that appear slimy or spoiled. You don't know in a grocery store, are people putting gloves on to cut that stuff? Most likely, yes, but sometimes maybe not. We don't know. Most likely, yes. Most stores really do their best to take care of the public, honestly. However, it happens. Let's see, what else do I have here? Keep vegetables refrigerated on or below 40. Separate raw from cooked. Poultry, seafood, cook vegetables when possible. Follow safe handling practices. Does that help, Cheryl? Listeria, bag salads, melons, pre-cut vegetables. I think I think also hummus has been part of listeria. The way that I do mushrooms is I wipe them down with a damp paper towel and clean them. But that doesn't mean you can't get listeria. You can't create listeria bacteria in hummus that you make, Cheryl. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. So listeria is post cooking, right? Usually when it comes to like beans or something, because you can cook off the bacteria from listeria. The listeria bacteria can be cooked off by boiling the beans. But if cooked beans are handled with contaminated equipment, utensils, hands, or surfaces after cooking, the bacteria can be reintroduced. And it's most common in commercial and home kitchens. So bean dips like hummus may include ingredients such as tahini, lemon juice, garlic, olive oil that are added after cooking and could be contaminated or become. So poor refrigeration or storage. So listeria grows at refrigerator temperatures. So if bean dips are stored too long or at the wrong temperature, they can be done. All right. So keep all equipment clean, store hummus and bean dips in a refrigerator at 40 or lower, and always wash hands thoroughly before. So and we said listeria comes from I just want to check this. Bacterium naturally found in the environment. Okay. Soil, water, animal carriers. Okay. Is listeria. So many animals can carry listeria in their intestines without showing symptoms and spreading it to milk, meat, and the environment. And it thrives in the soil, vegetable, and it can contaminate the vegetables or crops. Fresh water irrigation systems, runoff may also carry listeria. So gross. Ready to eat deli meats, cold cuts, soft cheeses, smoked seafood, unpasteurized milk and dairy, pre-prepared salads, coleslaw, potato salad, hummus, raw vegetables, pre-cut or pre-packaged foods. Now, listeria outbreaks, the minute it is found, it is reported everywhere. Lot numbers are picked up. Everything is reported. So as long as it gets reported, they have bamboo sponges now. We're good. I use the metal scrubbies in our kitchen. That's all we're allowed to use. We can't use washcloths, sponges, towels. So we use sprayers and the scrubbies, stainless steel scrubbies. Never, ever can we use sponges. Sponges are disgusting. When I go to a home for catering and I see, I mean, sponges and flies gross me out. Gross me out. If I go to a house and I smell, even to like friends' houses or something, if I smell a rotten sponge, I'm like, I toss it. If I smell a oh, it's so gross. If I smell mold on a sponge, I mean, think about that. If your sponge is moldy, I know I just can't do. You can't identify it, Cheryl. All you can do is clean your produce well. Buy it from a reputable source. Don't go to try and try and do it from a reputable source. I want to say so bad where not to shop because I have heard you guys say the name so much. And there's two stores that you guys talk about that you shop in. And I want to say it so badly, but I cannot here. But there's a lot of unreported illness. Yes. You can buy like the antimicrobial. No, I like Sprouts. Nope, not those. I can't. I don't want to get, and because I'll do it in the, yes, JMG's got one of them. And Lisa picked the other. Both of those, if you watch where the recalls are coming from, both of those are coming from, nope, no, Mary. Lisa and JMG have both. Those two stores have the most recalls that I ever see. It is regularly, whether it's, no, Queen, no. I have not seen that. The other two are the ones that I've seen. And for me, it's like ground beef, constant. Mary, not all the time. I think they do okay. It's the other two. Think about it. Watch. It's been E. coli and in ground meat and produce. I'm not April. When you see a lot of private label, and I buy private label, I'm not saying I don't. Yep, lots, Erica. Yep, there you go. So I just be careful, Mary. That's all. Just watch. There's you guys can get, if you really want to bug yourselves out, and I'm on it, and I get weekly, daily emails all the time. I'm on the USDA mailing list, and I get a lot of information. Some of it I just don't want to hear. And it's good to be informed. Oh, are they? Whenever you see a lot of private label, bigger companies are obviously making that food for them. And not that it's bad or worse or different. I always worry. I know. Well, that's my point, Mystical. I don't like to do that. I like to share the information, and then you gotta not freak about stuff. You really have to do the best you can. Like, what was, I think Heather was saying that earlier today. You just got to do the best you can and not stress yourself. So top sponges, antimicrobial polyurethane sponges. But then it says antimicrobial agents. Silver ion infused. I don't know if I like any of that. Silicone sponges, natural cellulose sponges. That's what I would use if I was going to do it. Like, I use bamboo sponges. I have those. I have the blue ones because of my stainless steel pots. But, I mean, I probably change my sponge once a week. Exactly, Heather. I don't want everybody to stress. I just want you to be aware. I think whatever works for people works for you. You cannot, if you get yourself stressed, that's going to be worse than, you just can't do it. It's like me standing here saying, if you can't eat this, there's a guy on, and I listen to him, and I'm like, oh my God, he stresses me out so much. But he has way more followers than me. So I can't really judge that, but it's like, God, why do we got to get so crazy? People are already stressed. Why do we got to worry so much? I want to stick with what works. All right, any more questions? We got a lot covered today. I'm going to send this to you guys, but you got to promise me that you don't have a panic attack. Yeah, fear sells, right? Look at our news. We're trained to watch drama and fear. But I like it here. Yeah, it's kind of, I try and make it stress-free. Little changes, small steps, be aware. That's the best way. Well, it's kind of cute, right? Little changes, less stress, be aware. That's the way you do it. You just do one little thing at a time. You're making a bok choy stir fry, that works. Being informed is good. And then baby steps, yeah. You know, okay, so now when you go to a restaurant and you want to have fish, maybe don't drink a glass of wine with it. Maybe for the night that you're going to eat fish, you know, you have like a cranberry and seltzer. Don't drink any alcohol when you're going to eat fish. Now you avoided one thing. If you wash your vegetables and you wash your produce, you're going to be okay. I didn't talk about that. You know, I use something called and I'll add it to the notes. I call something, it's called Nutribiotic, and it's a grapeseed fruit extract. In the kitchen, I don't use it so much here, but in my kitchen I use that when I get bulk chicken, because sometimes when you open cryovac packages, there's something called scromboid poisoning, and it's a histamine reaction married to, and some people get it and some people don't, but it's drinking wine and eating fish, and it's sort of an immediate reaction. Some say up to an hour, but I've seen it immediate, where you get nauseous and vomit and stuff. It doesn't last, but it's a histamine reaction, and it's a poisoning. So you know, throw out your sponges, clean your produce. Yes. Oh yeah. So I was saying the grapefruit fruit extract. So sometimes when you open the cryovac packages, you get that gassy smell, and it smells bad, but then it goes away. Sometimes if I smell that, yeah, we're so close. Can we get us to 100,000? That would be awesome. It totally helps our algorithm. That seems to be weak these days. I kind of soak that chicken in the Nutribiotic grapefruit seed extract. It's good for produce too, or anything that you're going to eat. And it's a grapefruit seed extract. And that's a bacteria killer, unaliver. And it helps. Power tap for chest time. Yay. Thank you. Yeah, stress-free. I mean, you got to stay stress-free. You cannot panic. You can go anywhere on social media and find drama or something wrong with the air we breathe, the clothes we wear. I was reading something, I don't know, I was scrolling for a minute the other night, and it was talking about our clothes and how there's so many chemicals and hormone disruptor and all this stuff. And I was like, oh geez, now they're going to make us all walk around naked, you know? And it's like, give us a break. You know, I get it. Everybody does the best they can. Stacy, thank you for the subscription. Monday nights, jump on our, go to the link in my bio and see the, thank you for my heart, Lex. And you'll see so many things to do. And the recipe vault is there. It's a paid subscription as well, but it's like you being a subscriber and being part of the recipe vault is less than a cup of coffee a month. You resubbed? Awesome. Thank you. You're just getting here, Lexi? I'm just finishing up. We did food safety today. I will put it on my Kitchen Essentials page for you guys today, so you can find it. It's by a company called Nutribiotics. All right, love. So, yeah, the polyester thing, right, Patty? I was reading that. It's the latest thing that, you know, we can't do. But again, the rest of my birthday, I went to bed. I know. I know I saw somebody with some kind of brush. Did you guys see that? I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. It was like some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of stick with a brush on the end that she's like, you'd use this one for number 2 and this one for number 1. And I was like, oh, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any of that. That's too far for me. You got to pick your thing. We're picking food. Fig leaves again. I think that might be the thing, Mary. Right. Fig leaves. It's hard. A bidet. Yes, a bidet works. You know, when I was in Saudi Arabia, there was bidets at every toilet. Pick your battles. One thing at a time. Right now I'm on to like, I got my food pretty settled. I'm on to my sheets and sleeping in like synthetic sheets. I do want to change all my sheets to like cotton, organic cotton. I was thinking about that. Like, because sometimes I feel very warm and I'm like, ooh, do I have like, is there synthetics in my sheets? I was thinking about that. One more thing to freak out about. Yes, I think they're fabulous. I loved having that in the thing. And your mattress. I know. Oh my God, here we go. Right, stickers. It's like, it's so true. Yes. Yeah. Gigi, isn't it funny? Like, it definitely I have my grounding mat. I sit on when I'm working in bare feet. We have so many ticks in New York. I don't know about everywhere else. I mean, I know ticks are natural fibers for sure. Hey, Gina, your content, I just giggle my butt off every time I see your stuff. You crack me up. You have the best sense of humor. I just freaking love it. I remember when I was a kid, the cotton sheets were the best to sleep in, so crisp. Yeah, I love, I'm going to start sleeping outside in the grass. Yeah, but you can't sleep outside in the grass here because there's too many ticks. Even with the chrysanthemum and all that craziness, we just can't do it. So bad. All right, so we did it again. Another great. Remember, guys, till 7:00 tonight, all the classes are on sale. All the cooking classes, so go check them out. They're great. There's something for everyone. Like I always say, if you need a food plan, oh my God, I'm yawning so much. If you need a food plan or you just want to yap with me just for fun, everybody that's come on there, we've had so much fun. It's only $61 today till 7. So jump in that. Smell of fresh laundry hung outside. It's the best. I love towels outside because they're like scrubby. I love that feeling. They get like hard and crunchy and then you dry with them. It's like, ooh, they like exfoliate and dry your skin at the same time. I love that. Yeah, we use like I don't use any smell in my soaps. I have no catering till the end of August. I have a catering gig while Tyler's here, but I'm not going to go. My crew is going. My live today is at 4:00. We're doing burgers, turkey, and what did she say? Lamb and turkey burgers. My God, I'm yawning all of a sudden. Why is that? 4:00 today with HK. All right, my loves. I have a busy day today. I got a lot of stuff to write and catch up on. I have to get you guys watermelon recipes, kebab recipes, I got to do all the campfire recipes. So we'll be dropping recipes all week. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys. Thank you for being here. Ooh. I'm so sorry I'm yawning so much. Can't wait. I had a tooth pulled yesterday. I want to make it. All right. You got it, Lex. The new recipes, the watermelon sorbet will be there. Now you're yawning. I know. Look. Good morning, adrenaline. We're just signing off for the day, but if you go in, all the cooking classes are available. They're on sale for it's my birthday promotion. Thank you, Snickers. $19.64 for classes and $61 for the food, the meal plan. So fun. They're on sale till 7 o'clock tonight. Woohoo! All right, my loves. I will see you all today at 4 o'clock. Burgers. Mixing sherbet. All right, you got it, sister. Oh, that's for the whipped cream. I gotta add that. Let me write that. Where's that note? Oh, for the watermelon. Yep. We forgot about that. Watermelon pizza and whipped cream. Gotcha. Yay! Thanks, guys.